Venerable Martyr Cornelius of the Pskov-Caves, February 20th. An influential abbot, known for his spiritual leadership and extensive charitable works, faces a sudden and violent end at the hands of the Tsar he served. A heads up in the spirit of transparency. Please be advised that this content may include martyrdom, execution, physical violence. Venerable Martyr Cornelius of the Pskov-Caves was born in the city of Pskov in the year 1501. His parents, Stephen and Maria, were of noble lineage, and they ensured that their son received a comprehensive education from his youth. From an early age, Cornelius displayed a disposition towards piety and spiritual contemplation, which guided his path towards monastic life. He entered the Pskov-Caves monastery, a remote monastic community founded in 1473. Within the monastery walls, Cornelius embraced the ascetic struggle with diligence. His virtuous life, marked by prayer and humility, became evident to the brotherhood. Due to his spiritual maturity and wisdom, the monks unanimously elected him as their abbot, igumen, in 1529, when he was 28 years old. Under the leadership of Saint Cornelius, the Pskov-Caves monastery experienced a period of significant development. The community of monks grew substantially, increasing from 15 to over 200 brethren. The monastery's territory expanded and several stone churches were constructed, including edifices dedicated to the Annunciation of the Most Holy, Theotokos and St. Nicholas. These building efforts strengthened the physical presence of the monastery and provided spaces for worship and spiritual life. Beyond construction, St. Cornelius cultivated the monastery as a center for spiritual and cultural enrichment. He established a renowned icon painting workshop where sacred images were created for the edification of the faithful. He also gathered a large library, which housed numerous manuscripts and theological texts, making the monastery a repository of learning and orthodox tradition. St. Cornelius possessed a missionary spirit. He preached Christianity to the local pagan peoples residing in Estonia and Setomaa. For these communities, he oversaw the building of churches, which served as centers for spiritual instruction and worship. Additionally, he established hospitals to care for the sick and an orphanage to provide for children without parents, demonstrating practical compassion alongside evangelism. During a period of severe affliction, when a devastating plague and famine gripped the Pskov region, St. Cornelius directed the monastery's resources towards alleviating suffering. He ensured that the sick received care and that the deceased were given a proper burial, extending the monastery's ministry to those in dire need outside its walls. St. Cornelius was also a man of letters. He compiled a chronicle of the Pskov-Caves monastery and recorded events in Russian history, which later became part of the Pskov Chronicles. He authored a description of the miracles that occurred at the monastery and wrote a work titled Tale of the Origin of the Pechersky Monastery. These writings preserved the history and spiritual legacy of his community. In the year 1570, during the Livonian War, Tsar Ivan the Terrible visited the Pskov-Caves monastery. Reports based on slander had reached the Tsar, suggesting that the abbot and the large number of monks were engaged in disloyal activities. As St. Cornelius approached the monastery gates to greet the Tsar, carrying a cross in his hands, Tsar Ivan was overcome by a sudden fit of rage. In that moment, the Tsar drew his sword and struck the abbot, severing his head. Immediately following this act, Tsar Ivan was seized by profound remorse. He dismounted from his horse, lifted the body of the martyred abbot, and carried it into the monastery church. The ground upon which the Tsar walked, marked by the blood of St. Cornelius, became known as the Path of Blood. As a sign of his deep repentance, Tsar Ivan made generous contributions to the Pskov-Caves monastery. He also included the name of St. Cornelius in the royal Synodicon, ensuring his perpetual remembrance in prayer. The body of St. Cornelius was laid to rest within the monastery caves, in a wall of the Dormition Church. He was glorified as a saint by the Orthodox Church in 1690, and his memory is celebrated on February 20th.